Now, a suicide bombing near Sri Lanka's Air Force headquarters in the capital Colombo has killed at least 2 people and injured 32 others. It comes as the president of the country, Mahinda Rajapaksa, says his forces have captured the Tamil Tiger capital of Kilinochchi and called on the rebels to give up their fight. He made the claim in a nationally televised speech. As the army says, troops entered the northern city on Friday for the first time in a decade. For 25 years, Tamils, who make up a minority of Sri Lanka's population, have been fighting a campaign to win their own homelands. Brigadier Udaya Nanayakara is the Sri Lankan military spokesman in Colombo. He said the operation has been in the pipeline for quite some time.
Troops attacked Kilinochchi township from the western direction, from west, for the last 1 month or so, even little more than that. But yesterday, after capturing the southern built-up area, south of Kilinochchi town, that's Iranamadu Junction, troops, after capturing that, they have commenced their movement towards north, as well as after capturing Parantan from the north, they came towards south. So we carried out our operations from 3 directions to gain control of Kilinochchi.
Well, Surandiran is the spokesman for the British Tamils Forum. He joins me now from our London studio. Thanks a lot for joining us. Firstly, the government claimed that they actually have captured Kilinochchi. Do you dispute that?
Not at all. I mean, when he says captured, what has he captured? He's captured a piece of land without anybody and just the shell of a piece of land. There is no military equipment or any LTTE members or even the civilians or any infrastructure left there. So just capturing land is not winning a war. Battles can be won, but not the war. You know, you need to win the people's mind, the Tamil people's mind. Some part of Sri Lanka might be celebrating, but a majority of the Tamils are not celebrating because they do not accept that the military is liberating them. They are supporting the LTTE. That's because the arms were taken by the LTTE because there is systematic discrimination and oppression of the Tamils throughout the history since independence in 1948. The Sri Lankan army captured Punerian only a month ago, they said. What did they see there? They didn't see any people, they didn't get any arms, none of the military capability of the LTTE.
Mr. Surandiran, sorry to interrupt you. Let's just be absolutely clear here. You're saying that it has absolutely no significance if in a war that the Tamil Tigers have been fighting for 25 years, the government has captured a large part of their ideological heartland. It's their physical and ideological heartland, and you're saying there's no significance whatsoever.
There is no history in the world of any liberation organization winning the war by just holding on to land. It is the LTTE against the entire international community held on to this land for such a long time because of the people, and the people were supporting them and they will continue to support them. The trouble with Sri Lanka and the responsible international community is that they do not think about the cause of this problem. They don't want to see the will of the people. Look at what happened in South Africa when the ANC was fighting. Look at what happened in Kosovo when the KLA was fighting. Look at what happened to Rwanda. The international community didn't have the will to support the will of the people.
You're talking about you're talking about the will of the people. Let's talk for a second about the moral argument here, because despite all the support for a Tamil state, particularly from the Tamil diaspora, and I would probably include you in that, besides this ideological support for a Tamil state, don't you think that the LTTE has lost the moral argument, particularly since there's been an incessant campaign of suicide bombings over the past quarter of a century?
Moral argument is about what is ours and what is the Tamil nation and the people have been saying and have voted democratically for their homeland to be theirs and to have a separate nation, which was Sri Lanka had 2 kingdoms before the British came in. Even when the Dutch or the Portuguese were ruling Sri Lanka, there were still 2 kingdoms. The British actually merged them for administrative reasons. So when it's a piece of land, it's like your home. If somebody comes and takes it over, wouldn't you fight for it, and would you argue against that as immoral? So you will fight until you get your piece of land, and people want safety. In Murusamadu, a town near Kilinochchi, near Parantan, the Sri Lankan Air Force bombed civilian targets. Hitler told his armed forces not to bomb schools or hospitals. What happens in Sri Lanka and in northern Sri Lanka is the Kilinochchi hospital, the Murusamadu school are being bombed when there are children and women and old people are being killed. Only on the 31st, 5 people got killed. On the 1st of January, on the New Year's Day, the Air Force killed another 6 people. 8-year-old baby was killed. When the international community, the responsible people...
But Mr. Surendran, you will accept that the Tamil Tigers also kill dozens of civilians each year by suicide bombings?
I can't speak for the LTTE, but when there is no credible system to prosecute human rights violations, I'm not sure whether you have seen a video clip where the Sri Lankan army is abusing dead women soldiers. They have burned between their legs, they have chopped their breasts, and they are laughing on top of their bodies.
Okay, Mr. Surendran.
Has the Sri Lankan government investigated this?
Okay.
No.
Okay, you've made your point. Thank you very much for joining us, Surendran from London.
Many thanks for having me.